Woe to you, self-righteous scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you give a tenth tithe of your mint and dill and cumin, focusing on minor manners, and have
Minor what?
matters,
Focusing on minor matters.
and have neglected the weightier, more important moral and spiritual provisions of the law: justice and mercy and faithfulness. But these are the primary things you ought to have done without neglecting the other. You spiritually blind guides who strain out a gnat, in other words, consuming yourselves with minuscule matters, and you swallow a camel, ignoring and violating God's precepts.
Yeah. That says a lot about the law of Moses, doesn't it?
Well, it says a lot about the people who were supposed to be the teachers of the law.
Yeah, yeah. That is to say, the people who were the teachers of the law were too corrupt to not be involved in hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And that's what the Lord is kind of saying there. Now, my version says it like this. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is Matthew 23, verse 23. How terrible for you, teachers of the law and Pharisees! You are hypocrites.
Mm.
You give to God 1/10 of everything you earn, even your mint, dill, and cumin. But you don't obey the really important teachings of the law: justice, mercy, and being loyal.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things you should do, as well as those other things. You guide the people, but you are blind.
Mm.
You are like a person who picks a fly out of a drink and then swallows a camel. That's some intense stuff there.
It's intense.
And now remember, our Savior is before his disciples and the crowd around the temple,
Mm-hmm.
busting out these Pharisees and teachers of the law like this. This is one guy
Mm-hmm.
who in Matthew 20 told his disciples, it's go time. We're going to Jerusalem. The religious leaders, the Roman government's going to have me killed, and I'm going to rise from the dead. So he was in go mode here. And so this conversation down here in Matthew 23 is part of a dialogue that began when the religious leaders challenged Jesus' authority. And then Jesus gave them 3 parables saying that you suck. And then the religious leaders said, okay, we don't like hearing that kind of talk from you. And so we're going to give you 3 tests. And these tests were basically ruses. They didn't really want to know what the answer was. Remember, they had already rejected the Christ. They rejected him. And then Jesus gave the last stroke. Who do you say I am? They said, the Son of David. And then Jesus said, even David said I was Lord.
Mm.
So he basically shut the mouths of the religious leaders. And now in chapter 23, he's basically reaming them because he's in the crowd saying that you guys are just hypocrites and so forth. And so that brings you down here to verse 25. I'm going to read it out of my heathen Bible, Max Lucado Bible here. How terrible for you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, is it verse 25. You are hypocrites. You wash the outside of your cups and dishes, but inside they are full of things you got by cheating others and by pleasing only yourselves. Pharisees, you are blind.
Mm.
First, make the inside of the cup clean, and then the outside of the cup can be truly clean. Your turn.
25.
Mm.
Woe to you, self-righteous scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you clean the outside of the cup and of the plate, but inside they are full of extortion and robbery and self-indulgence, unrestrained greed.
Mm.
You spiritually blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and of the plate. Examine and change your inner self to conform to God's precepts. First. First. First things first. Here again, believe we brought this up a few weeks ago. When we are born again, certain places that you go, the people will try to get you to wear the right clothes, comb your hair the right way, get rid of the makeup, don't wear earrings, don't wear dresses above your knee. If there's a list of things, if you're going to call yourself a Christian, that they require for you to come into their gathering spot. I'm not railing against that. But we learn right here that the real thing, that what God is looking for. Let's see what God is looking for. How about what He is looking for? He is looking for us to be cleaned on the inside. He wants an inside cleansing. And that comes when you say, Lord, I surrender. You say, Lord, I surrender. You say, Lord, I surrender. And He moves in. And when He moves in, what happens is the cleansing is going on. He makes you clean. When He moves in, He makes you clean. Now, what happens? Outwardly, nobody will probably see anything. You look the same. But you know you're different. Something's alive in you that was not alive in you before. So now you begin to think different about the things you say and the things you do and the places you go. Nobody really has to tell you. Because within you, there's life. And that life is looking for what? Life. And the places you used to go, they don't have life. So if you go there, what you're going to do is end up talking to somebody about Jesus. You can't help it. You can't help it. It's the life on the inside of you. So if you happen to be attending a place that says change your clothes, you can. You don't have to. Because God says, you're clean before me. You're clean before me. Now, you walk with me, I'm going to walk with you, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to train you, I'm going to let you know what's happening on the inside of you. I'm going to give you, and as you're reading the scriptures, I'm going to give you understanding and enlightenment and all that good stuff. And I'm going to bring you before people that feed you and nourish you and let you know exactly who you are. We can try to clean up the outside. That's not what He's looking for. He wants to get in here. He wants to wash the inside of the cup, the inside of the plate.
In other words, you have to change your thinking about who is Jesus.
Who is Jesus?
Jesus said He is the anointed King, the Messiah.